Just after 8 o'clock last night in the heart of downtown Belize City, 27-year-old woman police constable Shania Kalis was shot as she and two other officers got out of the police traffic mobile to intercept a robbery in progress at the corner of Albert and Bishop Streets just next to Scotiabank. Assistant Commissioner of Police appealed for prayers for the injured officer who Love News on the Stands went into surgery earlier today. Assistant Commissioner of Police Williams spoke to the media this morning on how last night's incident unfolded.
A police mobile was on Albert Street, traveling in a north to south direction. When reaching the vicinity of Scotiabank, they saw a male person searching another male person who was on the pavement. And upon seeing this, the police stopped to investigate what was taking place, believing that it was a robbery. And upon the vehicle coming to a halt, the male person who was searching the one on the ground apparently had another person beside him standing. And when the police were about to alight the vehicle, one of them fired several shots at the police officers, and that resulted in the woman police constable, who is WPC Callis, receiving gunshot wound to the head and to the right index finger. The gunshot wound to the head is not life-threatening. It is practically a graze, but the bullet is lodged between the skull and the skin, so it did not protrude into the skull area.
In the vicinity of the crime scene was Lieutenant Gregory Sabaranis of the Belize Coast Guard. He ran to assist the police and drove the police mobile to the hospital, taking the injured officer for medical attention. Meanwhile, quick response from the Gang Suppression Unit GSU led to the apprehension of one of the men involved, as well as a weapon believed to have been used in the shooting.
The quick response from the Gang Suppression Unit immediately after the incident resulted in the detention of one Jamal Jackson and the recovery of a 9mm pistol, which the police now have as exhibit in this matter. After the incident took place, Jackson ran through a yard down Prince Street area, and he apparently got a large cut wound to the foot and was bleeding profusely as a result of that cut wound. So he too have received treatment at the hospital in relation to the injuries he sustained whilst escaping from the scene. Jamal Jackson is no stranger to the police. If you recall that he is one of the persons who were charged and acquitted of the murder of the security guard at Biltmore Plaza Hotel. So we are still looking for the other person. We have an idea who that person is. We're looking for him, and as soon as he is caught, you'll be briefed on his detention and subsequent arrest. We have done an identification parade this morning, and Jamal Jackson has been positively identified in that ID parade, so he'll be charged either today or tomorrow morning in respect to the incident on Albert Street.
With one officer down and a criminal on the run, last night's crime scene resembled an action-packed movie as one of the officers pursued the culprit on foot. ACP Williams applauded the police's efforts.
One of the officers did set chase after him, and I must say that the officer was brave because he was unarmed and he was chasing a man who was armed. But the reason the officer chased was to see the direction that he would go. And I think that while it may seem to be a very stupid move on the part of the officer, it was a good move because the information he gathered in pursuing that individual was what actually aided the police to have been able to locate where this person was. So his heroic effort, along with the effort of GSU in following the different leads, must be commended, and as it was what caused us to be able to apprehend the person so quickly. It is our primary duty to ensure that people feel safe, and will continue to discharge those functions. Yes, From time to time, incidents will occur, but when it does, I ask that we be judged on how we respond to those incidents. And I believe that the efforts of the police last night in dealing with this situation must be commended, particularly that of the officer who pursued this individual and the GSU who subsequently caught the person and recovered the firearm that we believe was used in the incident.
ACP Williams was disturbed at last night's events and sent out a strong warning to the criminal elements.
We will send a loud message to any person who shoot at the police that you will not get away with it. And in so saying, it does not mean that we'll be using brutal force or violence. We can send a message in different ways. And as I've always said, that enforcing the law is common sense. If you shoot at an agent of the state in execution of their duty, we will send a message to you, loud and clear. As I've said, it does not mean that the message will be in a violent way. Okay, like we did last night, ensuring that that person was caught and caught very quickly is good enough. He have gotten the message, and any person who is contemplating doing the same will think twice, because we will pursue you.
The robbery incident was foiled at the presence of the police last night. Love News understands that a man was doing a night deposit at Scotiabank when he was approached by the two men. The robbers didn't take anything from him, as it then turned into a shootout between them and the police. WPC Callis has been serving in the Belize Police Department for just over 9 months, as she passed out from the Police Training Academy on May 15, 2015.